Welcome back to Chow Time Pod. It's your host, Red. Got a video today from Legion of Men. Terrorism charges for misogyny? Oh, the criminalization of men. It's going on, guys. It's going on. Please like, subscribe them below. Really appreciate that. Let's get that chow. Showtime.
Welcome back, Tribe. Have an insane one here that they're trying to make misogyny terrorism charges now. Watch this.
Yvette Cooper, who is the Home Secretary, she is saying that extreme misogyny will be treated as terrorism for the first time under government plans to combat the radicalisation of young men online. She's ordered a review of Britain's counter-terrorism strategy to urgently address gaps in the government's stance and to look at tackling violence against women and girls in the same way as Islamist and far-right extremism amid fears that current Home Office guidance is too narrow. Well, let's ask the opinion of Aisha Ali Khan. She's a human rights and women's rights campaigner. Aisha, thank you for joining me this afternoon. What do you make of this proposal from Yvette Cooper, the Home Secretary?
Right. So we've been talking about something like this for the last, 4 or 5 years now.
That's crazy. Calls for extreme misogyny to be treated as terrorism. This is the country that's currently falling apart, the UK, where they're having knife fights, machete fights out in public. It's two-tier policing, mass migration, social upheaval, and instability. The locals are being treated like crap. The migrants that are there throwing their passports and identification over the boats as they're crossing it to Europe get preferential treatment. They are housed, they are fed, they are taken care of. Meanwhile, the locals working their minimum wage jobs can't get any of that. There's no government subsidies for them under the guise of migration. This virtue signaling that Europe is responsible for taking in the...
Again, I'm not fully against migration or immigration. I am an immigrant myself. I am thankful that the U.S. allowed immigrants in, but we were also not illegals. We didn't try to sneak into the country, and we didn't try to steal resources from the country without putting anything back in.
World's destitute. This is crazy to watch. If anybody's paying attention, you have to go on X to see any of this stuff. Just see the riots. Just see all the clashes with police. See people getting arrested for posting memes. In the UK, you can get arrested right now for posting memes. The UK has even said, the police commissioner said that they'll go after Americans if they post memes about what the hell is going on in the UK. How insane is it for spreading misinformation or inciting hate? Extreme misogyny. Who defines what extreme means? Here we go again. People in the UK, you have no rights. You're not allowed to open your mouth. Simply criticizing what's going on with the porous borders, people not being vet and checked properly, just gangs of people being let in the countries. And these aren't families. These are young, military-aged males. A vast majority of them coming over are of fighting age. All men. There are no kids. There are no women. Hardly any. That was true when the Syrian destabilization happened. Families were actually coming over. That was true. But now this latest batch of migrants are not families. They're just people taking advantage of the welfare programs in the EU.
I think it's just funny because they're defining extreme misogyny, right? And I would assume most immigrants coming from more third world countries, more patriarchy type countries would be more misogynistic, would they not? It's just in general, just my thought process on it. But you're letting them in, and then you're gonna try to outlaw it for the people that live there. What the fuck is going on?
And every time this kind of idea comes to the table and we discuss it, we get comments like the comment you just read out saying, violence against women and that kind of domestic abuse should not fall under the category of terrorism.
No.
And I think what we've definitely seen has been a massive increase in young people being radicalized online, especially young men. And these men have been, they're unhappy, they can't get a relationship, and they fall under the category of incels.
So instead of maybe trying to fix it, maybe do something about it, you're just going to label them terrorists?
Which stands for involuntary celibate. Basically,
so these are young men who can't get a relationship. They are incels, involuntary celibates, as you say, and they hate women as a result of this, and they fall into.
You see how the destabilization.
As soon as it was from misogyny, they hit women. What the fuck? How did that jump from they dislike women or couldn't get with women to I hit women? What the fuck?
Of a nation through mass migration and parallel societies. Now they're coming after men. Do you see how they make a rule to combat something else and broadly apply it to everybody else? Extreme misogyny. By whose standards and what will be the charges? If they're terrorism charges, you're going away for a long time. Why? Because you posted something sexist on Twitter. Holy crap.
Well, whether they fall into or go there voluntarily.
I mean, YouTube wasn't even much better. I told you guys I posted that one meme of two women wrestling, and one of them was just like had their hand over the other woman's pussy, and I put a meme of Trump like making like a sad face or like a sour face, saying, you know, when someone steals your move. I got a fucking strike for that. I got a community guideline strike for that by YouTube. That is the first step of things. You know, as soon as you start posting memes and you get a little warning. It was like a warning strike, but it was still a strike on my channel. That's a problem. Things are getting quite into the extreme to where men can't speak about anything. And if it's anything speaking ill of women, it's going to be a big problem. That's why I don't even know how long my channel's going to last, guys.
We can talk about in a second, but they're certainly very, very misogynistic and sometimes violently misogynistic.
Absolutely.
I wonder what you...
I don't think we've ever spoke about violence. I never told anybody about you need to get out there with your pitchforks and just start fucking everything up. No, we just tell men to get better, do better, and just avoid the nastiness out there.
True. I mean, these are men who would love to have a relationship with women, and for some reason they can't, and then they end up blaming not just women, but not just a particular woman, but all women, and the rise of feminism and so on.
What the fuck are you guys doing? You're just blaming all men for a few misogynistic things here and there.
And so they feel very hard done by, very angry, very upset, and those feelings are turning into basically towards violence to punish these women, to punish all women, and that's some.
How many percentage of these toads actually do anything? It's mostly men letting off steam online. Please fix the economy. Why don't we talk about why it's so goddamn hard to get a job? Why it's so hard to raise a family on one income? Why your woman has to work in order for ends to be met? Why dual income household is the standard today, and that's what it takes just to survive. Forget the kids. Why can't we afford housing? Why are groceries so expensive? Why does it cost so much for electricity? Why don't they have wages that keep up with inflation and cost of living? What is happening to the economic model we're living under, where it's failing young people tremendously? They cannot even afford to go on dates. It's too expensive at restaurants. They're hardly feeding themselves. They're living with roommates. Do you think if we solve the economic woes of young men, maybe all this other shit would disappear? This is what they won't tell you. But you know what they will do is throw you in jail for voicing your concerns, for being a little angry online, for making a sexist joke on X. Oh, God forbid you commented under somebody's post on Instagram, a funny meme, and you said something sexist, straight to jail. Terrorist! Holy shit.
Do not
UK, I'm sorry.
$200.
You're a shithole. I would never move to the UK with shit like this being even spoken about on mainstream media. This blows my mind. Romania is 1,000 times better. The UK is not even an ounce of what it used to be. Holy fuck. Avoid the West and Western Europe like the plague. Jesus.
Something that Yvette Cooper and obviously previously we've spoken to the sort of people around this legislation as well.
You see, like, I hate that when they go on these news outlets and the anchors and the person that's interviewing them never push back on any of that. Never push back that maybe men and women are having struggles. Maybe things are hard for them. No. It's literally just their fault. They need to stop being bitches. They need to start fucking, not hurting women or something, which they aren't even doing.
How to tackle this. So it's been formally, well, we hope that it's going to be formally recognised in the next couple of months. And steps are going to be taken to basically enshrine this in law.
Can I just ask you what you think radicalization means? Because I think we know what it means, but in this context, I just want you to explain what your view of being radicalized is, how it actually works, and what the kind of thoughts would be of someone who is radicalized in comparison to someone who is just sexist or misogynist, just someone on the street, someone in the workplace who says and does silly, stupid things that they shouldn't do, and are unacceptable in society, but it's not terrorism per se.
So if we look at the definition of radicalization under the current terror laws, the idea is that somebody is open to committing a violent act, and that's
literally everyone. Isn't it? Like, what? How is that a definition? Open to committing violent acts. I'm going to assume everybody has that capability.
Mindset has been slowly but surely changed from, like you said, making harmless comments or sort of posting harmless memes and so on, to actually wanting to take physical action in terms of...
This is complete bull fucking shit. Yes, you're right. Like, most people are pussies. They type shit online, they'll say shit online, but they'll never be violent in real life. Never do these things in real life. But yet they're putting all of these men that are putting these things online as if they were actually really going out and hurting women. I don't think the violence against women has gone up to the extreme degree compared to it was before. I think all violence went up in such a degree because our country is going to shit.
Causing terror or causing harm to somebody. And I think that the reason why these are it's becoming more and more of an issue is because we've got people like Andrew Tate and other influencers that are using the sort of feelings of anger and rejection and frustration amongst these young men. And
we had these feelings and rejection and this anger already. Now we have an outlet to speak about it and maybe tailor it to more useful energy than just complaining and bitching about it.
Wow.
Capitalizing on these. They're monetizing misogyny. They're monetizing these feelings of anger and just kind of...
And women must monetize misandry up the yang. No one says shit about that. Women fucking hate men.
Taking advantage, in my opinion, of young men who are clearly unhappy, they're upset, turning these young men who would have just been able to speak out to their friends and so on. At some point now, they've got this massive subculture online. They can log on.
It's telling men to get up off your ass, go brush your teeth, go clean yourself, go work out,
wipe
go
your
read
ass.
books. Start grinding. Your emotions, learn to control them. Channel anger, channel rage, channel that depression, channel that anxiety, that doubt into something positive. Go to the gym, get a better body, start a business, bust your ass, grind every day, no matter if you don't feel like it, because no one's coming to save you. This is extreme misogyny. Stop being a fucking loser, jacking off, watching porn all day. Stop being a fucking loser playing video games for 8 hours a day. Get up off your ass and make something of yourself. This is extreme misogyny. Telling you to chase your goals, to be ambitious, to forget about women for a minute. Make yourself into a man first. Then you can enjoy the fruits of your labor. Women will then magnetize to you. Telling men basics like this is now extreme misogyny. We're monetizing on angry men. Wow. How mind-blowing that we live in such a weak fucking society. That the UK is full of such degenerates that simply telling men to be the best that they could possibly be, to live up to their potential, to test their bodies and see what they're capable of, to expand their minds and learn new concepts, is extreme misogyny. But if we were telling you to cut your dick off, if we were telling you to start painting your nails, to be more effeminate, to wear dresses and shit, and to like being a little feminine crybaby, and all the things they're trying to turn men into, this message would be getting pushed to the top. That's being progressive. That's having an open mind. You're so tolerant and accepting. But the opposite message is no, it's hate. The opposite message is extreme misogyny, showing you your value, why you shouldn't simp, why you're not just a walking wallet, what you could do to be more attractive.
I mean, what do? We make fun of simps. We make fun of women, but we make fun of the most extreme women that post their L's, post their freaking drama on TikTok. I don't think I've ever said we should. I've always said we love women. We love them to such a degree. I say it all the time. But yet we're evil, even though we just speak about our frustrations. Life kind of sucks. Oh, you're misogynistic. Dating sucks. Oh, you're misogynistic. It's hard to make money, isn't it? Oh, you're misogynistic. What the fuck is going on?
Attractive in the eyes of women. That's extreme misogyny. Say that men and women are different. That's extreme misogyny. It will be one day. They're going to categorize it. You can't say men and women are different. We're all the same. Like we're fucking robots. This shit is wild. Wow. Enjoy the ride, boys. You guys in the UK, you're leading the pack. Wow.
And talk to these other men, other people that they may never have met in real life, and they may never meet, and they can actually share horrible fantasies, and it's actually normalizing those types of attitudes towards women. And then obviously at some point a young person, for them it might not be enough, so they want to take something, a steps in real.
No, very few. This is like, people really think people have that gusto to always take action. No, if that was the case, the world would be so much better. But no, people are fucking lazy. Majority of the time, almost 90% of people are fucking lazy to put into action what they say.
Real life, and they want to actually live out some of these horrible fantasies. And some of the messages I've read, and by the way, Peter, sorry, I should have also added, I'm actually a classroom teacher as well.
Oh, I didn't know that. Okay.
Young disadvantaged and disenfranchised young men for the last 4 years, and I've actually had conversations face to face with these young people, and it's not just young men young boys feeling unhappy about sort of, say, the economy, for example, the fact that there's no jobs, there's no sort of possibilities for them when they leave school, the chances of them getting good GCSEs are very low as well. So these are all issues that combine together.
So
and
you're actually, let me.
So you even admit that there's other issues that is fucking men over, but you want to broad stroke it as extreme and terrorism.
Just get into that a little bit, Aisha, because of course the extreme end of this is the terrorism and what you're saying should be the law. But actually you're at the sort of the original bit of it, the start. I said, well, hopefully not the start, but hopefully you're curbing it. But there are many young men you're dealing with on a daily basis who are perhaps at risk of this, or at risk of these sorts of being not necessarily radicalized, but certainly influenced by these kinds of videos.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, when you think about it, these young men are being young boys. Sorry, let's just start with. They're being exposed to all types of very casual misogyny. They're playing games and characters that are female that are being run.
What are you talking about? Maybe, I guess I'm not in the incel circle on Reddit like that. Are there shit like this? I don't know, because I don't see shit like this in my fucking comment section. Yes, I see some misogyny in my comment section. Okay, I see a good amount of misogyny, but it's not to the extreme that, oh, we should just fuck women over, or we should fucking beat up women, or, women don't deserve fucking to live, or something like that. No, I've never seen those types of comments. And even if those were there, those would get deleted immediately.
Over, they're being beaten up, they're being stamped upon, and then they see
GTA 5 is going to be illegal soon, because if you run over a female in a game, or a bot, if you run over a bot, dude, walking on the sidewalk, you're, oh my god, extreme misogyny. Look, this is what he wants to do in real life. All the boys that have played Call of Duty the past couple years, goddamn, we just got the future soldiers of America right there, because they're playing Call of Duty and they want to shoot guns. Oh my god, they're going to be mass killers. What the fuck? This is crazy. These people are so disconnected from the real world. Blows me away. I didn't think we would get here this fast. Seriously.
In their home lives, they see it with amongst their friends.
Holy crap.
In potential relationships that are playing out in front of them. And there's nobody to challenge these types of ideas. And that's something that I feel really
it's challenged constantly.
strongly about as a teacher. As soon as there's some kind of comment that's being made, we don't want to pick up our plates because it's not our job, it's a girl's job. These are the types of comments that it starts from.
Right.
And And I speak to young girls. I teach young girls as well, and the kind of comments that they have to put up with, comments about their bodies, comments about their looks, comments about whether somebody would want to sleep with them. And these are teenage girls. They're like 12, 13.
Has that not been going on for the entirety of humankind?
14, and they don't have the tools or the skill set to basically stand up for themselves. They are effectively bullied by these young boys who are...
Women bully women worse than any other man could ever. The women are making those passing comments to other women. The girls are bullying the girls. The girls are mean to other girls. The girls are seeing what social media is telling them how they should look like, the surgeries they need to get, the boob jobs, the Brazilian butt lifts, the nose jobs, all the makeup, all that shit. These little girls are seeing other women and trying to emulate them. And if they fall short, they're made to feel insecure and they pick on each other. They're so fucking mean. Anybody knows, they'll tell you teenage girls are the worst. They're worse to each other.
They literally made a movie about it, literally called Mean Girls, and how cliquey they are.
Other than a boy ever would. Boys are still fucking nervous to talk to a girl at that age. Damn, this shit is crazy, dude. They're pinning everything on men and boys. Always. It's always your fault.
Also similar in ages as well.
Wow.
And I think then that snowballs. And obviously going back to my previous point, when you log online and you have other people that are writing similar things and sharing similar views, it's normalized, it's internalized, and it's really difficult to then, as a young adult, after having all these kinds of views,
yes. Is it all coming? I mean, you're seeing young people, is it all, and you know about the very radical side of it as well. Is it all coming from men? It's all coming from young men, or are there some young women or older women who are doing this as well? Or I mean, what sort of proportion would you say?
I think what I've seen is that obviously these are young men that are basically expressing themselves, but they're helped by other young women and other women as well. So if they have a very patriarchal, very traditional or
patriarchy goes back to that, even when women are doing it to each other.
I was thinking, is it traditional women? Are traditional women going to be next that are espousing conservative ideals, like being a stay-at-home mother, like having big families, a lot of babies, like serving your husband? I knew these women are supporting misogynist young men. I fucking knew that they would go there. That's crazy.
Upbringing, they will have seen that type of attitude, the types of attitudes where women are there to serve the men, women are there to make the men happy and to make sure that they're looked after, and it's a woman's job. Whereas men...
we don't even talk about that shit like that. Yeah, it's a woman's job to maybe, take care of the household and stuff. It's not her job to make me happy. What the fuck?
Actively, boys as well can do what they want. There's no accountability. There's no responsibility.
What the fuck I don't think I've ever told you guys you could do whatever the fuck you want. Like, I tell you guys to strive for things better. I tell you not to be promiscuous, not to be cheating around, not to be fucking people over, because karma, bitches. Karma is a real thing. I'm Asian. I believe in fucking karma so much because I've seen things happen to bad people, and I've seen good things happen to good people, and vice versa when they do bad things. It's just better to do good things.
And it's absolutely perfectly fine. And I speak as a Pakistani Muslim woman from a Punjabi background, very patriotic.
Oh, Pakistani and Bajimi, all of these oppression labels that she just gave herself or told, just spurted out there, really shows where her mind is.
Yeah. So I have seen this growing up amongst my own family members, amongst the
how have you challenged it in your own community, or Aisha? What have you tried to do?
Well, number one, I was very lucky that I was able to get an education, because so many of my friends, people sort of around my age, when I talk to people and I say, well, most of my friends got married at 15 and 16, and then they became housewives. Some weren't even allowed to go and finish their GCSEs and get qualifications and able to support them.
Did they want to do those things? Like, she projects on all of these things, but did they want to do those things, or did they want to be housewives?
Yeah, and your reality and your Pakistani culture is not the reality for most women in the West. We don't marry them at 15 and tell them they're not allowed to go get their education.
And that was from growing up in the 90s in the UK, and then obviously I've gone to university. I was one of the first people to female to drive, amongst my community. And these are the little things that I look back on, and I think, gosh, we have come a massive way from back, those years.
Your people.
But in some ways, not so much.
Yeah, this is where I agree with Bo a little bit, because she came from extreme misogyny. She comes to a country that doesn't have that, and then still pushes laws to go against the extreme misogyny that it was before, or the patriarchy, when that's not how it is here, lady. But I digress.
And that still makes me very upset, which is why I speak out about it a lot, and I try to show women.
It's funny because she's here in our country, or UK and Western countries, to do it because they're allowed to come do it. But when she can't go do it in her own country. Why not fix your own country?
That are empowered, that have an education, that have good jobs, that are able to make their own decisions. We shouldn't be afraid of these women. We shouldn't be trying to pull them down or try to criticize them or see them as an anomaly, because we're not. And obviously,
have you had pushback from within your own community?
I think I've been very lucky because I'm.
Wow, man. All right, I've had enough of this bullshit. Being men is considered terrorism now. So glad to be living in Saudi Arabia. Once again, let's not tackle the cause of young men feeling ostracized, but instead let's punish them for society's failures. And that is the perfect way to put it. Succinctly put, man. Jesus Christ. Fix your own community before you attack English. If you want women's rights, worry about that one thing and not a guy that lives in Romania. And look, for the Romanian thing, I'm sorry for you UK bros, but if you're within the EU and you got a good head on your shoulders and you want a nice traditional life, I just did a video today. Look at it. It's all in Bucharest. I'm walking around, raw footage. I'm not even talking most of the time. Just look at the difference of what it looks like, the families, the people. Contrast that with what the hell is going on in the UK today. It's at the end of the link here. It pops up. I'm not going to talk any longer so that it keeps showing up for you guys.
Shout outs to Bo, always fighting the good fight. And, well, we're fighting. I didn't realize we were fighting a war now, guys. That we're terrorists. Oh, I don't know how long you guys are going to still see me on YouTube. Please subscribe down below. I really appreciate that. And catch you guys.